Hey freaks, what's going on? Today is the first installment of a new section called EOR Power. Now I want to apologize right now for the quality of this cam, but it's a young site, so hopefully the equipment will only get better from here. Anyway, let's go on with what this section is all about. It's about homebrew games that have been made by various people that usually hang around nestdev.com. or nestdev.parodius.com, whatever you want to call it. It's not very hard to find. You can get to it from a link on Play the NES. And, well, let's go over one of the games today. The very first game we're going to go over is Munchie Attack by Memblers. Munchie Attack is based largely off of fast food for the 2600. It was in the 4 kilobyte category at the minigame competition during 2003, in which it placed 26th out of the 37 entries. The object of the game is to guide your mouth around to rack up your score by feeding your hunger for some snacks. These range from fries and burgers to even the mascot of strangulation games. During this time, you'll have to avoid swords and shurikens that are trying to put an end to your insatiable appetite. The little blocks you see at the top left each represent a life, so if you end up getting hit, you of course lose one. As time goes on, the pace of the game starts picking up, making it more difficult to react to the placement of the enemies. At first glance, this doesn't look like much, but don't be fooled. Much like having the munchies, this game is pretty addictive. I can't tell you how much time I've put into playing this. Popping it into the NES has a nice feel to it. Yep, you heard me right. Munchie Attack was released in a multi-cart called Garage Games, with 2 others on it, Hot Seat Harry and Solar Wars. It had a limited run, so if you got your hands on it, consider yourself lucky. Since this is the first episode of this series, I think before we go, I'll touch on the NestDev site itself for a minute or two. You can get there a couple of different ways, nestdev.parodius.com or the more simple nestdev.com. When you get on the site, you'll see it has a pretty simple layout which gives ease of navigation. It's divided into sections, the first being documentation of the NES and its architecture, which has a ton of great info that you'd want to know if you were to get into development for the NES. There's also a section of various programs, demos, and games that have been made by different members of the NestDev community. You can find different programs that aid in development down further as well. Toward the top, you'll see a link for the message boards, where there is a wealth of new information about the NES that's more updated than the info on the site sometimes. If you go there, make sure to do some research first before asking questions you probably could have uncovered first. You can check the old forums as well because there's still useful info to be found there. Well, that's about it. We'll just leave it at that. Go and check out Munchie Attack. I really dig the game and maybe you will too. Next episode we'll hit on either Solar Wars or Hot Seat Harry, one of the other 2 games on the multi-cart Garage Games. And we'll go from there and see what pans out. So, until then, freaks, keep your game face on.